Okay, so now you've finished that one. Great job. And as I'm kind of getting into this one, I'll tell you a little bit why that's the first one. And most people I wouldn't start on that one because it's pretty intense. It's difficult. But I started on that one. So like the beginning of my practice was that posture, and I think that you have it in you too. So I'd like to see you start with that one. And the reason it's so good is because it cinches your whole body about this connection between the base of the spine and the pelvis. And so, as I said, we're just trying to align muscle tissues so that the microscopic communication channels are just unkinked. Like, just, it's not exactly like that. I'm not a scientist, but think of it as unkinking hoses. And so because it rotates the body and because it engages such powerful muscles, it's just quite a profound effect from sort of top tip to tip. So the next one we're going to go to is the butterfly posture. And so for this one, we're going to have our feet together. Now, ideally, your feet should actually be splayed open like a book. So it'll be the outside lines of your feet connecting, insides are open. Most people can't do this. It's going to take quite a while. But that's going to be kind of how you gauge how far out you go. Probably no more than like 30 degrees, because then we're going to change the muscles that we're engaging with. But you can kind of see where I am. This is probably a nice, pretty good starting angle. And your feet are probably going to be close together, and you're not going to be able to pull the tops apart, and that's normal. The way that you want to move towards that is by applying a little bit more pressure when you're doing this towards that outside line of the foot, if possible. So then what we're going to do, we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're sort of pushing together, and we're going to hinge. So on our exhale, we're just going to hinge forward. And you can be really explorative with the hands. We're trying to open up the adductors and sort of that region. I don't know all the muscle names. I should, but I'm not good at this that way. And so you're going to feel that engaging. And then wherever you are, it's nice to use the hands to detail in some way. So I think for you, probably holding onto your feet would be really good, because then you can kind of add a little bit of pulling of your torso. Because I noticed you couldn't go down too far, and that's fine. It's never really about the expression of the posture. It's just really about following the instructions to get into it so that your body's in the correct relative shape to the posture for the current tightness of the muscles. But you could also, even if you wanted to, you could experiment with maybe pushing down on your knees and coming forward. And then over time, we're going to come down. And I can't get super far into this, but when I'm really deep into it, I can kind of put my face into my feet. But you're going to hinge at the back. And then once you've gone as deep as you can go hinging at the back, that's the time that you're going to start to round out. But you kind of want to keep it flat until you can't get any farther. And it's just going to create nice alignment. And then coming down. And this is going to just help our body communicate through the pelvic region. And there's a lot of information that goes from the legs up and from up to the legs. As we know, like just there's huge segments of the body, so of course they're talking to each other. So keeping this region communicating is really good. So now we're at 3 minutes.